Globally, there is an unprecedented increase in the use of agricultural inputs and particularly inorganic fertilizers, pesticides and irrigation systems are driven by the increasing population and the pressure to intensify production. Such practices have resulted in negative impacts in soils and biodiversity, thereby affecting crop and animal genetic diversity and welfare, human nutrition, and increased cost for public health and community vulnerability to external shocks. These effects are felt in contexts where natural resources are under increasing pressures revealed by some studies that the Earth is fast approaching boundary limits on various natural phenomena including climate change, ocean acidification, and global freshwater use. Moreover, inadequate support for improved post-harvest management, sustainable value chains, inappropriate technologies, and coordination of failure among research and other value chain factors, including farmers, dampen prospects for achieving genuinely sustainable agricultural systems. Africa, and particularly sub-Saharan Africa, has been under increasing focus to improve agriculture and food systems to make them more resilient and sustainable. This is not exceptional to the country Nigeria, as the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and other stakeholders have come together to partner in the organic farming subsector in Nigeria. The Executive Secretary of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ARCN, Professor Garba Sharubutu, has advocated for the need to galvanize PALI that will enhance food security and more premium to farmers. This position was unanimously taken at the last general meeting held at the ARCN conference room in Abuja by the Ecological Organic Agriculture Association. The Executive Secretary of the Council, Professor Garba Sharubutu, emphasized the need for more private-public partnership synergy that would increase sustainable food affordability, availability, and accessible system, thereby commending the already taken off efforts in the direction by the National Organic Business Summit towards ensuring effective drive for organic farming in Nigeria. Sharubutu emphasized the need to bring back agriculture to the front burner of the economy through collaborative efforts of the government at all levels with private stakeholders towards a purposeful national interest in agriculture. The ARCN boss thanked the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the Nigerian Export Promotion Council for their great support in improvements the country has made in areas of organic farming and landmass to be 6th or 7th position in West Africa, pointing there is need for more agencies to join in the organic drive.
On the occasion of this very important meeting, from the participants, you can see how clearly this organization is focused, combining those of us from the public as well as the private sector. I want to believe that if organizations operate the way you operate, there wouldn't have been any form of food crisis or any other crisis for that matter in this country. You will look at the composition and you will know that virtually all important interests are represented here. I will want to welcome you as well as advocate the fact that we should be well focused in our discussion. Discussions of this nature is not meant to protect organizational interests. It's meant to protect a national interest. And the national interest is nothing other than agriculture. I want to remind us that those of us who are politicians, who are involved in one form of political activity or the other, will always mention agriculture, as if we are very serious about it, whether at the level of the ministry or at the level of the individual. The time has come for us, given the type of leadership that we are witnessing now in this country, for us to come together and give our assistance, give our services. For those of us in the public service, I can assure you that we can do virtually nothing if organizations of this nature do not come to our aid. We are supposed to extract from the private sector. We are supposed to extract from the individuals, the various organizations, to know what it is. People hear organic agriculture, but people don't know what it means. I'm saying that from the point of view of the fact that I am a practicing farmer. I farm a lot of grains as well as livestock. But when we want to attempt to grow agriculture, we don't even know what it takes to grow agriculture. The state government do not even know what it takes to grow agriculture. We would have loved to believe and see some people from the state government at this level. So maybe one of the challenges we have to pose to ourselves is how much we can also get those in the various ministries involved. Extension is also another very, very important angle that we have neglected. We cannot practice organic agriculture if we do not bring in some of the people from the state and the extension agents at the level of the agricultural development programs that we have all over the place. I wish you a fruitful deliberation, and I pray that whatever effort you are putting in here will go to assist the government. I also pray that those of us who are representing government here will be able to take this message back to the government so that each organization will be able to have an assignment of her own or on its own to practice adequately. We should give teeth, tongue, and a helping hand to this organization for it to grow in order to serve us better. I pray that as we open this with lots of hope and expectation, God will guide us in the execution of our programs. I therefore wish to say that I declare this meeting open to the glory of God and to the development of our country, Nigeria, and the world at large. Thank you very much.
Also speaking at the event, the Assistant Director, Department of Organic Fertilizer Promotion, Mrs. Janet Oluyemisi Igbo, agreed on the need for synergy with other agencies in the reformation of the sector through organic farming, adding that food security is very strategic to Nigeria.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture, just like you know that our mandate is to produce good quality food for Nigerians, and we are doing that very effectively. No matter what anybody feels, you know you are eating well, even you yourself, and that there is food, good food in Nigeria. It depends on what you want to eat. Adeoluwa will say you are what you eat. So whether you want to eat organic or you just want to eat, it is your business. But we know we have food in Nigeria, and we thank God for that. And we thank God for the lives of our smallholders farmers, that those rest on their oars. They farm, they toil day in and out, whether we subsidize, whether we don't subsidize, they are still there producing. Now, the permanent secretary has graciously given us a desk officer after much letter, which you saw around, Mrs. Nike. So, whichever file or whichever letter comes, goes straight to me. From the permanent secretary, comes to me, and I direct to her, and she has been up and doing. The ministry is operating on a policy we call complementary use, because we are the mother of all. If you have a cripple or an impesa or whatever, you cannot throw your baby away with the bad water. So we take in all, whether organic or no organic, is domiciled with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. But in 2016 at NCA, there is a policy with the ministry that says that we should do complementary, and it's a policy. That is to say, you can bring organic and inorganic and put together and apply. And the researcher said it's the best. So yes, to yield. But organically, the components of every interventions and program with the ministry must have a component of organic fertilizer. No program we go out from the ministry without a component of organic.
Speaking at the meeting, the country coordinator, Ecological Organic Agriculture Initiative in Nigeria, Dr. Olugbenga Adeoluwa, described the organic farming through agroecology in Nigeria as still very low even at the big potential to do far better as a nation. Adeoluwa stated that Nigeria has got an improvement of 60,000 hectares of organic farming land areas, which was an increase from the initial level of 3,164 that was on ground in 2007, saying that it is an exponential dimensions in the development of organic agriculture in Nigeria. He thanked the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, for their great support in the improvement mark the country has made in areas of organic farming landmass to be 6th or 7th position in West Africa.
Development of agroecology in Nigeria, which is similar to organic but not the same. Organic has a lot of standard do and don'ts, and that is what we have good data. But when it comes to agroecology, which is being championed by FAO and now down to the country by our governmental arms, we don't have sufficient data as we speak. And we have a lot of organizations doing different things, or one thing or the other. And we do hope that in these events, some of them have been invited to come and speak to what they are doing, because this event is not only meant for one organization. So we want to appreciate the stakeholders, especially our governmental side, the MDAs, because they are actually the owner of this event. We are just running this on behalf of the government, and that's the reason why we have to report back to the government. We want to appreciate the one good thing that we have been doing in Nigeria, above other countries in Africa, is a level of involvement of our government. We don't have any country in Africa, as I speak, parallel to us when it comes to involvement of the government in development of organic and agroecology. Though the production is not yet near what it should be, but I think we are starting on a good ground, and then we shall be there soon. This is how far we've gone. Last year, here in ARCN, we unveiled the coalition of organic and agroecology in the country, which is called ORE, to bring the stakeholders together so that we don't shoot in different directions. We can work together, we can plan together, so that we don't keep reinventing the wheel. And then with the endorsement of our government, we want to appreciate our government through Federal Ministry of Agric giving a desk or creating a desk for the coalition.
The National Board for Technical Education, in collaboration with Ecological Organic Agriculture, had earlier in the year had a National Critic Workshop on the proposed National Diploma on Organic Agricultural Technology Program for Polytechnics in Abuja.
Export Promotion Council, they have been to my farm in Abuja several times. I think we are the only people doing regenerative agriculture, which is the father of organic now. You understand? We are the only one now in Abuja that have a farm that has been financed internationally. You understand? Our consultants are from Switzerland. So I'm very much interested, number one, that's on a personal basis. On national basis, NASAL is the only organization that have spent millions of naira to do agro-ecological farming in this country. There's what we call agro-geo cooperative. NASAL paid for researchers to go around this country and did soil testing and ecological testing for 18 commodities. And we begin to build what we call agro-geo cooperatives, congregating farmers onto lands with comparative advantage to produce commodities of comparative advantage in those areas. Our AGCs, we have over 4,000 AGCs now.
Actually, we've been working with NOAM, EOA for many years now. Even from when we were still discussing on how to get the organic standard. And SOM was really interested because, as you know, the vision of SON is to improve life through standardization and quality assurance. To improve life. And the DG knows that the people who are really the producers of food are the micro, small, and medium farmers. And we know that many of these people, they are not aware of current trends. And when you continue to say organic agric, it will be sounding strange. So the DG decided that we're going to have a DEX officer, of which I happen to be the one. And they have asked me that just as we've been working together with EOA, we want to see the way forward, especially in the area of awareness, training, certification, and ensuring that just the way our synthetic products, they have, when they are exported, even when we eat, people get a lot of things from it, but they don't report. And we don't want the organic products to go that way. So we want to make sure that right from the grassroots, people are aware that these are the things that are required. And the core function of SON is elaboration of standards and ensuring compliance of these standards.
So Nigeria Agric Promotion Council has done a lot in terms of organic agriculture. We have a program, development of organic agriculture in Nigeria. So over the years, my boss, Mr. Rufus, has been championing the program, and then he has done well. And then stakeholders can attest to that. We have done well in a capacity building program, provision of input to farmers, and then I think recently, just last 2 months, NEPC in collaboration with NISAT and Valencia Agro launched organic agriculture program for cashew. Valencia is an Indian firm that has the passion to move organic agriculture. So in collaboration with NEPC, we launched organic agriculture program for cashew. And then Nigeria Promotion Council has a program, Go Global, Go Certification.
For all the commodity value chains, we also work with the umbrella associations. So you have Upgan for oil palm, you have the vegetable farmers, you have the fish, all those, yes. Now, what we are doing is enabling increased productivity that is in line with climate smart agriculture principles and zero tillage and all that.
We have engaged an NGO that into such activities, and we have signed MOU. In fact, our DG has already approved for them to organize train the trainers workshop for us, in which 100 people will be recruited in 2 states just for piloting. So they will train us how we can generate employment through practicing organic agriculture. The next week we'll go for that training. There's a NGO, this prestigious training institute. It's in Kaduna, which will be by next week we'll commence the training. By the end of the training, we'll be able to really incorporate training of our participants in organic agriculture.
Organic Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria. We have been on the movement for organic agriculture and organic farming for a couple of years now. Right from the year 2010, OPSAN have been doing much in order to see that organic agriculture has a very strong root in Nigeria.
the importance, or even give a lecture at that event. It's an annual event. We have been doing that for 3 years now. I suggest that the 4th edition EOA should be there. National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism. And they are also key because they are into hotel and catering. If they are to train our hoteliers and all this, they encourage them to use organic food to promote our sector. We also have an association, HOFA. HOFA is a Hotel Owners Forum in Abuja, so that they too are encouraged to buy into organic products that we are here advocating for. Even the culture arm, there are cultural ways of cooking these delicacies, so that this awareness can be created for the whole ministry. So we are here on behalf of tourism, domestic tourism, anything that has to do with tourists coming into the country, our own movement from one state to the other, what we eat, what we grow.
NQS, in our challenges, NQS has recorded a lot of rejections to ban of most agro commodities in the international markets. So it's a good thing that this organization exists. At least I believe with this practice of organic farming system, you know, you guys are trying to implement or already implementing in the country, will help to curtail the menace of rejection and the ban of most of these agro commodities in the international market. Then I also want to recommend, just like what my brother said, on synergy, that will continue with what we are doing, because as far as I'm concerned, I will say that what we are doing or what we are doing here is very, very, in fact, it's a very good thing in order to curtail, that is in order to promote food safety and the ecological system in Nigeria.
What we are doing is enabling increased productivity that is in line with climate smart agriculture principles and zero tillage and all that. And so it's not only knowledge-based empowerment, because that's training. We do encourage that these farmers are able to also link up with available markets. So private sector actors who facilitate markets, whether locally or internationally, are linked with these farmers. So they serve as the aggregators of the produce from these farmers, and it goes into the markets. We do not offtake in any way at all. And our empowerment is knowledge-based and directly with the smallholder farmers.
So it was important for us to spread that knowledge gained in that 3-day training. And while we have made our request to the DG for us to have budgetary allocation for organic agricultural activities, we have also identified the power of leverage. Now we have some existing programs that most times we carry it out daily, and so we are seeing how we can leverage on some of these programs. For example, we have the Made in Nigeria program, where we promote grow what we eat and we grow. So we are also proposing to the DG right now. We are waiting maybe approval, maybe this year or next year, depending on how the funds are available, if we can incorporate organic agricultural activities into that Made in Nigerian program, because they go hand in hand. And also we are also looking at our school-based campaign, you know, like I think someone mentioned earlier, because we do have school-based campaigns from time to time, so we can also incorporate that into it. Also have our community orientation and mobilization officers in the 774 local governments. So we are also looking at how we can cascade that training to each and every of the community orientation and mobilization officers, because they are like our leg runners. Once they get that knowledge that we got at the national headquarters, it will be very impactful because they are the ones at the grassroots.
But more importantly, I moved to this particular line, which is what is operational within the space of the country, which is research and applied knowledge, information communication and extension value chain and market development, monitoring, coordination and governance, which are led by different partners within the country. Okay, for the first one, which is research and applied knowledge, the initiative is being led, the implementation of the initiative is led basically by Kwara State University, who are supposed to lead the initiative. At present, within the space of August 5 last year to date, we have been able to, the initiative has been able to document about 13 of research output, which comes with mulching, fertilization and the like. And these particular activities which were documented across the country, working with different researchers from different organizations like Nnamdi Azikiwe University, University of Ibadan, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. So it is not a one organization implementing activity, but rather different organizations.
Khadija Oluwatoyin Amin, ARCN TV.